Can you fake a tin ceiling tile with just paint? Let's find out. Hi everyone, welcome to my studio, Create with Chris. I'm Chris Haughey, and today we're going on a painting adventure. I am obsessed with the faux ceiling tile pumpkins, and I wondered, could I get that same embossed tin tile look using only traditional acrylic supplies? This is my very first attempt, and I love how it turned out. I'll walk you through every step, show you what worked, what didn't work, and what I'll tweak next time. Grab your brushes and let's experiment together. And make sure you watch all the way to the end for the final reveal. I'm using just a regular MDF wood surface, and I picked out a decorative stencil. It can be any style, just a lot of decorative design. I'm using a palette knife. Any of these tools would work, even an expired credit card. And I'm using modeling paste for the medium to create the dimension. I'm going to position the stencil, and I decided it would be best to start on one side and work across. That way I wouldn't have to touch up both sides. Because I'm spreading the medium on, I need to make sure the stencil is secured and it's not going to move when I apply the texture paste or modeling paste. Now my modeling paste is a little bit old, so it's kind of lumpy, and I'm just taking my palette knife and kind of smooshing it around just to make it creamy and smooth. Think peanut butter. That's pretty much the texture that you need. It will not take a lot. I just have a small amount on my palette knife. Just going to start at the top and spread it across. And it's a very thin skim of paint. Don't over spread it. If you push too many times, it starts to maybe go under the stencil. So I'm just using small amounts, spreading it thinly, and removing any lumps that are in it. And just, it is almost identical to spreading peanut butter over a slice of bread. And I did speed this up a little bit. It's the same motion. Because I'm right-handed, I started at the left, and I'm just pulling the paint toward the right, or the medium to the right. Very creamy, don't overwork it. I would say you shouldn't go over any one area more than maybe about 3 times. And as I spread it, I'm pushing down. I found it's easier for me to pull it towards myself. Okay, now for the big reveal. Gently lift up on the corner and carefully, ooh, isn't that beautiful? I was so excited. I did completely let it dry, and I was afraid it is dry, but it's not super dry, like all the way through. So I'm just going to anchor it down with my fingers and kind of hope for the best. Again, I'm pulling it towards me. I just want to fill out the rest of the pumpkin. Same technique, just grabbing a little bit of the texture paste and just spreading it over the stencil. Make sure you clean the stencil thoroughly before you reuse any of it, and don't let the medium dry on the stencil. Lift it straight up and it looks fantastic. Now on the other side, I had it a little far away from the edge and there was an empty spot. So I'm just going to take a portion of that stencil and just do a little bit to kind of fill in that blank area. Because this is background texture, it's not going to be super noticeable if it doesn't flow perfectly. And you'll see when I lift it, it's just fills in that empty spot. I love the texture. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I decided to go with the home decor chalk paint, and this is fired clay. I like the chalk paint. It's very opaque. It has a lot of body to it. And I'm using my 1.5 short wash, which is a soft bristle brush. I can spread the paint quickly because it's a bigger brush, but also because the bristles are super soft, it's going to go in all those, over all that texture and cover it more opaquely than a shorter or a stiffer bristle brush would do. And the chalk paint, I love it because I probably only need one coat, and it just makes short work of any kind of base coating. It's a beautiful color. Once I get it covered evenly, look how that texture is visible. I decided to enhance it a little bit, and I'm using maple gel stain. Again, I'm going to go with a soft bristle brush, and this is my number 6 stencil brush. I am going to thin down the gel stain and just brush over it very quickly with the stencil brush, and I thought it would go further, but I didn't realize all the texture would use up so much of the medium. Not a big deal. So I'm just basically covering it, and then I thought I would go back with a wet wipe and gently wipe over the top just to remove the gel stain most on the top area. It really makes that design pop out just a little bit more. It looks a little uneven, but I think that's the light glow on it. I picked up some Java, and this is also the home decor chalk paint, and I'm using my finger to add a little bit of darkness around the outer edge. I decided I wanted this to be very primitive, and I thought since I had it on my finger, I would just do a very light touch to kind of apply the paint over the top of the ridges. In retrospect, I should have just went back with a brush. I kind of debated. I thought maybe I could feel with my finger the ridges and just put a light skim of paint. Ended up just being a little bit spotty. In the end, it turned out okay, but the next one I do, I'm going to use a brush and see if that makes a big difference, which I think it will. I can go back over it with a brush and kind of lighten that, but after I started adding more, I kind of liked the way that it was going, so I just went with it. You don't know until you try it. Just a very, very light hint of paint. You can see I'm reloading my finger often, and it's starting to come together. And this will just take a little bit of time and patience to kind of achieve the look that you're going for. I decided to go back and just really touch up those side edges a little bit darker and some of the areas that I had missed. For the stem, I wasn't sure what to do, and I had seen on Pinterest where they use jute to wrap pumpkin stems, and I thought that would be a nice touch. So I started at the bottom and the front, and then I left the long end in the back and just continued to wrap it around. And make sure you keep good tension on that so that it's a nice tight wrap. Kind of press it down with my fingers as I go up just to make sure that it's adhering well. Take the loose end, go over the top so that there's no wood showing, and then just snip off any short ends. I like the way that turned out. I think they complement each other really well. I wanted to add a tag. I'm using sheepskin, which is chalk paint, and you can see how well it covers. And I'm just going to put one coat on, but after I get the paint on, make sure that you do nice long strokes to keep a even coverage. Let it dry really well, and I picked up some of that maple gel stain to age it a little bit, and I'm using my 1/2 inch angle. I just put a little bit on the toe of my brush, just to kind of, I call it a chop float, just to go around the edges and kind of make it look a little bit rustic. I found a stamp. This is an old Stampendous stamp. It just says fall colors. Any fall theme stamp would work, or just use a Sharpie and put a little saying on there, welcome to the patch, hello pumpkin. I decided it needed a little more grunge, so I'm just pulling the flat of my palette knife through a thin layer of paint on the palette. Now if you get too much on the bottom, you'll get a blob like I just did. Fortunately, that was in a place where it's okay, so I just left it, but I'm just adding enough until I'm satisfied with the look. Just a super easy way to add that aged effect. Cut a piece of brown paper wire, and I'm just giving it a twist. I did make a bow It's called a messy bow. I just cut some lengths of burlap and homespun, a little bit of lace and some muslin, and wired it together. And I'm just going to tie the tag onto that. And to give it just a little more of a fun look, I'm using wire curlers, and I've had these forever, but I do believe they're still available on Amazon, or you might be able to find it at Hobby Lobby. Just giving that wire a little bit of a twist. The curls add so much fun to this look, and it kind of helps to soften that and just give a little bit of whimsy. Everything I used are things that I had here in my studio, just some old berries that I clipped off of a bunch and some Excelsior. I added some twist jute curls just to fluff it up, and a button in the middle from my grandma's button box. I'm using a cosmetic sponge and the sheepskin chalk paint to top coat the welcome letters. Don't overload the sponge, have a very light touch. Reload often and you'll get a very nice coverage. I'm doing the same thing that I did on the tag. I just loaded the toe of my 1/2 inch angle to give a little more age to the letters. I don't want them super bright, and this just will tone them down very nicely. It's not a fussy float, it's a messy float, but I'm kind of honing it in on the bottom and the left side just to help divide those letters out just a little bit. Now that they are dry, I'm just going back with the palette knife and the Java to add a little more grunge to the letters to make them blend in with the rest of the project. Reload often. I'm almost just putting the paint on the toe of my palette knife. I use Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm just going to put that on the back of the lettering. I have a terrible time with glue, so it's always a struggle for me to get it on nice and even. If you do have problems with glue squishing out the sides after it's glued on, I just take a damp Q-tip and just kind of twirl it, and it pulls out that excess glue. I love how this turned out, and I had so much fun creating it. Now that I've dabbled around with figuring out the technique to create the faux tin, I have some great ideas for some upcoming projects. This could be displayed in a wreath, hung on a wall, or attach a back stand to it to make it freestanding. Thanks so much for creating with me today. I'd love to know what you think of this faux tin technique. Drop me a comment below and tell me if you give it a try. I would love to hear from you. All the supplies I used are linked for you down in the description, so be sure to check that out. And if you enjoyed this project, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this video with a friend. I look forward to our next painting adventure together.